So, welcome back to Tweezy TV. I'm your host, AN21, and this is a brand new show on the channel known as BTM. And for our first episode, I had to get a very, very special guest. She's a legend in these streets, in the hip hop community, in the music community, radio. Um, she's someone who has been a trailblazer, someone who has opened a lot of doors for people and has been a supporter of a lot of artists, including myself. Welcome to the show, Miss Uncut Ruby V.
Hey, what? That was great.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. I'm honored to have you. As I said, you you've been a supporter of a lot of artists in the game, and even for me, I feel like I've felt a lot of support from you. So I'm honored to have you here.
I'm
And
appreciative of that.
yeah, and I mean, let's just get straight into it. So we linked up first because of Uncut, and
Yes,
apparently it's back now. Talk us through that. Talk us through that.
baby. It's been a minute since guys were talking about how nothing is really happening in the Kenyan hip hop space, and I've gotten so many requests from people every time we're outside. They're like, "Yo, what's happening with Uncut? Bring it back, bring it back." And I feel finally that I am aligned with some people who would help the vision come alive the way I am thinking of it or the way I've always wanted. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'd say it's an agency called Kijibu Solutions. They have done a bunch of events, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to them holding my hand and making this dream a reality for the first time, like having it happen exactly the way I wanted. I know people have come to some previous awards and had fun.
Yeah,
So far, I would say nothing has happened to the letter how I would love it. So hopefully that's December this year. Of course, we have some few events leading up to the awards, some digital content that we'll be creating. And I'm super, super excited about the campaign. We're supposed to kick off actually sometime this month. So you could
okay.
check out Uncut socials at Uncut Africa to
Dope,
be.
dope. That's dope. So was that so you've decided to get a third party to help with the organization and all of that stuff? Was that what led that being no Uncut last year?
I would say the labor does take quite a bit. An awards gala is a huge project, and if you don't have enough hands, then that means you're definitely going to suffer at one point or the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think could be one of the reasons. I would say could
Okay.
be ones that there wasn't an award show. Um, Also, like at the time, I would say didn't really feel the love from guys. I feel like more people were focused on the things that we weren't doing right instead of the things that we were doing right. And it's very discouraging, especially if there's no external driving force like money or
Yeah.
something like we're doing this for a bag. But yeah, definitely like not having enough of a team, the lack of funds, the hate from the community. Those are some of the factors I would say were led to there not being an award.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. I There was always like a lot of especially like after the awards,
Yeah.
most of the noise would be about who didn't win, who wasn't nominated, who didn't do what. So
And
I see. What's that?
sorry, I was going to say the thing about it is we try to be transparent. We give fans almost like 80% of the power. So
Yeah.
it's be surprising when people are like, "Oh, such and such did not vote," And when we open the servers, we see that maybe they had like the least votes. And at the end of the day, this is someone's effort. Vilotajituma is what will determine how many votes you get. You know, there's
Yeah.
people who are aggressive with it and they end up getting the and winning. And then there's people who maybe think they're too good, they're too fresh, they don't want to,
Mm,
so they don't campaign. And when they lose, the fans come back and they're like, "Oh, please show." And it's like your person lost. They went enough
yeah.
to,
Yeah.
know.
Nah, I hear that. I hear that. Honestly, I'm glad it's back. I think our culture needs it. It needs you. I've been told you this in private before. Like, we need people like you. So I'm glad Uncut is back. We're gonna get more into the backstory of Uncut, but I wanna just take things before that and how you kind of got to where you're at.
Mhm.
So, from what I understand, you got into radio kind of by chance. um, you were interning for Mwalimu Rich, or you got into the hip hop uh, side of things. Maybe just walk me through that because
Um, yeah, actually, I don't even think that this story was out like that, but
I do my
I,
research. I do my
oh,
research.
see, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. I see that. Yeah, I was interning for Mwalimu Rachel at Homeboys. That time she had the show Class 1 to 4, and under Class 1 to 4 there were these events that happened. I think like every 3 months called Class in the Sun.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
yeah, as a like a huge Homeboys radio fan, I think I attended like all editions of Class in the Sun. So it
Mm,
was easy to kind of talk Rachel down into give me a slot on radio, like make me your intern and then we'll figure out the rest from there. So that's how it happened. After school, I was just like, Rachel, people have been telling me I need to be on radio, and I'm thinking this is a path I could explore. Is there any way that you could help me? And then she brought me in. At first, like it's actually quite funny because I came in with the events angle way before I even knew that we were going to, like, I was going to do my own events. So I
yeah,
guess stories have a way of writing themselves. And then one time, on one of those occasions, we would get time to speak on air. And then the time that I did speak on air, everyone was like, "Yo, you have a dope voice. You really should consider actually doing this permanently." And that's how I landed on radio. Then when I was on radio, Final Cut had a show in the morning, 7 to 9 p.m. hip hop culture with Frankie.
yeah,
Oh, I was eager. I guess I was eager to learn about the industry, the events, everything that was happening. I just wanted to be in the know. And he saw me at this event that used to happen at Sarakasi called Hip Hop Hookup. It used to
okay,
happen every Saturday in the afternoon. Rappers would get together and it would just be a good time. So when he saw me there, I think maybe he thought, "Oh, I have an interest in Kenyan hip hop," or he saw something.
yeah,
So the next week he asked me, "Yo, go speak to John, tell him that you would like culture with us." And it took a bit of time because I was fresh already. I'd just been an intern for like a month and a half, really. And here I am being told to speak with the big boss so that you can get a spot on radio. And then
yeah,
I was about like, do I really know much about hip hop culture, Kenyan hip hop,
yeah,
to be a credible source on air? But I would say after I got the balls to go and speak with John Raba about being on the show, and he agreed to me being on it.
yeah. Now that's dope. Yeah, I was trying to like do some research and I saw something about Final Cut, like seeing you at one of those events, and I was like, yo, I gotta ask about that. That's interesting. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and fun enough, the way you said you are such a big Homeboys fan. I now that's how I see you because I used to listen to not just hip hop culture, but the weekend breakfast, which you ended up
Oh
over.
wow.
Like that's how I knew you from. I didn't even know the hip hop side first. I think I knew weekend breakfast because I've always just been a fan of radio. So
Incredible.
yeah, so talk me through that time now getting into radio and becoming your own brand in itself. How was that ever?
Mm. I would say so now getting on radio, then it was the task was during the week if I have a show only once a week during the week, what am I going to be doing to make myself useful so that I'm not discarded from the station, right?
Yeah,
um Basically during the week what would happen is we try to get like a lot more information, especially from the artists, from the rappers themselves. Some pop already happening, and Korean had a lot of contact, so it was very easy to be like, yo, give me Oxide's or give me whoever's number, right?
yeah,
And when I got their number, I would try my hardest to like get exclusive news or get exclusive information out of them. And at the time, Homeboys also had a website, hbr.co.ke. I'm never going to forget. And that's where we would post, like, stories, like blogs about these rappers. After I was done with getting information from them, I would then go and write it down or share the audio on SoundCloud or something just to
yeah.
make to like archive it. And I think that's one of the things that actually catapulted me further into the hip hop space, because nobody else at the time was really giving a fuck about Kenyan hip hop
That's
that
so true.
to that level. So I became like the hip hop Kenyan hip hop journalist, and I
Yeah,
think what that's what plenty people know me for. Like if you say Ruby, they'll be like, a hip hop or Uncut,
yeah,
and then the weekend breakfast show came by chance, I would say. It would happen like early Saturday and early Sunday. And those things where you don't really think maybe people are paying attention because it's very early in the morning. Maybe they're hanging or
you'd be
they're,
surprised.
like this is very surprising to me that you would tell me that's where you knew me from. I
Yeah,
always assume when I talk to people that the most obvious reference is hip hop culture background.
yeah. I think I it was those ones for I've always listened, especially Saturday morning videos always like on for me. So when I now got into Homeboys and like you guys were doing playing all the hip hop, I used to listen to Capital in the morning a lot. So now I switched to you guys. You get me? So and
So
you'd be surprised, like even in the certain spaces I've been where like those shows were played. I won't speak on that right now, but I will tell you. Yeah,
that's
for sure.
very dope, honestly. That's dope news. Thank you.
Yeah. So during that era, like you guys were really okay. Before I get into this, so was are you a journalist first? Like, is that what you studied? Because I saw that you were also part of Kenyan Vibe and things like that. So
Yeah.
is that something that you wanted to get into before video became, I think, like doing print? Or
I think my entire background has always been public speaking and blogging.
okay,
I'd say blogging now, but back in the day when you're in school, it's a composition writing and insha. I would always be amongst the best ones, and like the model student. Please pay attention to how she writes, how her craft is. So in one way or another, I would say the journalism thing has kind of been honed because I literally participated in music festival competitions all the way to level with just public speaking or solo verses or I guess the writing side was in school. I always did amazing. I always did great. So I would say getting into print because I also wrote for the Pulse magazine
okay,
for a few months, like maybe 8 to 10 months, I don't know, almost a year.
yeah,
say that was it was almost like a natural transition. Once I had been on radio for a bit, for like 3 years, because I wrote for Pulse around 2017. So after I'd been on radio for a bit, and I was already obviously blogging on the Homeboys website, and I was blogging on my personal website as well. When the opportunity came for me to be a part of Pulse magazine, I just felt like it would be Pulse and Kenyan Vibe. It would be a great opportunity to kind of expand my portfolio.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, um, so during that era that you're at Homeboys, um, something starts happening within the Kenyan scene that I do think you are part of the reason why it started to shift. But you started to see much more of an appreciation of Kenyan hip hop. It was you guys, and it was the jump off at the same time. And I think like that you guys are the reason why I am the way. I don't think I was really that much into Kenyan hip hop. I'm not gonna lie to you. And
Yeah.
as soon as you guys are playing like Steph Capella and like Bootrus and like AD Family, I'm like, yo, who are these guys? But you guys was so in the know, so like people don't get how early you guys were, you know.
Yep.
How was that ever? And see, just interacting with these artists, seeing these guys from where they started. Someone like Bootrus, I'm sure you've seen from the beginning to being one of the stars in the country. Like, how has that been for you, and how was that ever as well?
Yo, I would say first the Play KE movement is
Yeah.
something started on hip hop culture, even before I was on radio.
Whoa.
Since, yeah, since they were already only exclusively playing Kenyan hip hop, that was the hashtag that they would use every morning. Play KE.
Wow.
I think it
So
got to
so did calligraph literally took that for you guys? Because I knew it for as a calligraph
yes,
hashtag,
yes.
and
I was going to say,
wow.
yeah, that was Piggy. He piggybacked off of that because the real ones know hip hop culture had been writing for Kenyan hip hop for a minute. So I would say, yes, because he had the numbers and the platform, it blew up, and people thought that the Play KE thing had come from him. But it honestly, it really doesn't. I would say the originator of the hashtag, it doesn't matter
That,
really,
yeah,
because the agenda was play more Kenyan music, appreciate more Kenyan music, Kenyan brands, and that's what we got to see. So it's great that Cali got into the conversation at the time that he did,
yeah,
because there's only I guess there's only so much we could have done with a two
yeah,
hours on radio, right? Compared to him getting the entire industry around that conversation.
yeah,
Um, as far as watching these artists grow, I would say was a very beautiful moment, because in many ways I would say we helped each other's careers grow, because at the level that I got Boutros at, or the level that I got Steph Capella at, I would consider myself as being on that very same level.
yeah,
Wherever they see the like an upcoming artist or like an underdog, I'd say I felt like that at the time. So my mission on radio was to be like, I'm gonna support the underdogs just like me, you
mm,
know? Or feeling like maybe they're not as seen or as appreciated or whatever it was. I was just like, you know what? I know your pain and I will ride for you. So
yeah,
seeing these now be top of the table, doing their thing, having hundreds of thousands of fans, doing shows across the country, even shows outside the country. It's really so beautiful. And it makes me feel like, yeah, we did contribute to something. Like it wasn't in vain. We pushed for it and it got somewhere. And it also kind of makes me feel good. Like, I have a good eye or a good ear, and I
yeah,
could definitely someone is going to be a star or not.
for sure, for sure, for sure. So was that part of the thinking behind coming up with Uncut? Because from what I understand, it started as kind of like a showcase brand of like doing ciphers and showing the talents of these guys before it became an award show?
So what happened was, when guys came on radio, right? We had the free segment, the sermon, where guys would come and drop their 16 or drop their 32 bars. But on radio, you can't really cuss. You can use dirty
Yeah,
language, the law. And guys would come and say, Manze, when are you guys going to get rid of this rule where we can't really be our truest, authentic selves and just rap the way we would on a record? And I'd be like, yo, don't jeopardize my job just because you want to say some bad words on the air.
yeah,
And so we created the platform. Uncut literally raw, right? So
yeah,
we created the platform for rappers to come and be their most authentic self. And the idea of the event came from my career advisor. He lives in the UK. His name is Kura. He's actually a Zimbabwean, and I've been working with him for a minute now. I'd say he's held my hand since around maybe 2015 or 2016. He's crazy. Sometimes I listen to his ideas and I'm like, no, I can't do that. And then when I calm down, I try to do it still.
yeah,
And how it came about. So in 2016, when we started Uncut, it had been a very good year for hip hop. And BV Accurate had done a bunch of events at the Alchemist. They were buzzing. Radio show had been doing great. My blog was popping off. We were in the papers. Like a lot of buzz was happening around the new crop of artists. Again, when I came into the game, I wanted to like be a different type of journalist. I didn't want to dwell on the artists who are already getting shine, the normal, the Kalis, the Optas. Yes, they weren't at the level that they're at now, but they were
just
at a far advantage
yeah,
compared to Capella who was starting out
yeah,
to introduce Kenyans to a bunch of new artists that have, for me, what I saw was international potential. So I was like, these guys can be our exports. We can actually we have some talent that we can put on the world stage, and these are the people that you should focus on. So for the first edition of Uncut, I literally just hollered at everybody that I had been working with in 2016 because it was happening in December. This is the close of the year. So I just went through my phone book and I called everybody and anybody who had been on an interview on my show or who had blogged about or who had given me some exclusive Kenyan information or Kenyan hip hop music or information. And these are the guys that I put on the lineup. And again, it was mostly the underdogs. So we had it was a pretty good reception after Wapi hadn't happened for a minute. I feel like, at first that maybe the Kenyan hip hop fans were a bit skeptical. Excuse me, were a bit skeptical, like, who are these guys on the poster? But after we released the videos, because that's the one thing that we made sure that we did. After we released the videos, I think
yeah.
guys took us a bit more seriously.
Who were some of the people on that first lineup?
First lineup, we had Butchos, Mandy, Steph Capella, definitely Dopamine, K Green, the whole ADF gang was there. Who else showed up? Ordinary Bingwa representing South Coast Diani.
Okay.
uh 125 Music, Dandan was there. Who else? It was, yeah, Mandy Kabaya's first stage appearance.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, the good thing is we have these videos, so there's no
Yeah.
running.
It's all documented. This is all facts. Like
It's,
that's crazy, man. Yo,
you know
man.
it
So
was dope. So it's like every other edition. After the first edition, we always had we had a heavy hitter. We had someone who was going to pop off. 'Cause in the I would say now 2017 edition, after we had done it for a year when we were closing out at the Alchemist, that was Breeder's debut on stage.
yeah.
Uh, tried the Messenger as well, Don J, and a bunch of cool cats. So I'm really proud of the work that we've been able to do.
That's dope. That's dope. Like I knew you were super, but Mandy's first
Yeah,
performance, wow,
yeah,
man. Like, and that's super early. That's 2016.
yeah.
Damn, damn.
There was a
So,
time. There was a time on radio. I don't know if she would ever admit this, but
yeah.
my first like stint on radio, push on radio, was all through hip hop culture. It was
Mm.
she was in me by Intronic Media. They've done like a bunch of videos, right?
Yeah,
And they were
yeah,
this chick that we're recording, that we're working with, that I think, you should pay attention to. So when I got her, again, at the time, I didn't feel like there was enough representation of women on the airwaves. So again, that was another one of my missions. So when
yeah,
I got her, I was like, okay, there's something here that could be polished. It's not bad. It's good. It could definitely improve and be better. And yeah, kind of just
yeah.
held her, bulldozed, played all her music when it was
Wow.
dropping it. If there was maybe another event or an appearance, we made sure that she was there, maybe sending her music to other radio stations.
Yeah,
Mandy is the person I absolutely believed in with my everything.
yeah. And you see, people don't see the 5 to 10 years before an artist blows up, but you've been there through some of these guys, whereas people are seeing Mandy now as almost like the finished project, whereas you were seeing her through her raw stage. That's super dope. That's super.
Yeah, like definitely, we've definitely seen these artists when they were ashy, when they were begging for opportunities before Kiburi Ingie.
Yeah,
Even Pod's first radio interview ever was actually on hip hop culture. When Wakadinali were actually introducing Cods, it was
yeah.
and that video is up on my channel if you would like to see.
Wow. Yeah, I think I saw it on your channel. So wait, so was that the same like week or same time frame where she did that freestyle that
No,
everyone
no.
knows her from?
It
That was
was
after.
yeah, it was probably like a month after, but I was in the room when that freestyle was happening. I'm the one who called them up to come and do the interview actually, because at that time I was
Oh,
also I was contributing to the jump off with exclusive news on Kenyan hip hop, because again, I felt like we needed the representation. So that was
yeah,
a couple months after she'd been in the game for a minute, maybe like a month or two. Maybe her confidence had been boosted kidogo, and
yeah.
yeah, but it was that show was very legendary. I remember Morio Nzanza had actually premiered on my radio show. And then now the whole gang came to the jump off now with Codes and the viral freestyle. And they
Ah,
on when the music was playing and those guys did like a mini live performance on radio. It was amazing.
yo. Now the jump off and hip hop culture, that was an era that if you weren't there, you wouldn't get it. It was so huge for me. Like that shit
Yes.
shaped my current music taste with like I'm still listening to a lot of those same guys to this day,
Yeah.
to be very
The jump
honest.
off very, very dope show, and I think it was a key show in hip hop culture. Corrine inspired me to like be on my grind as far as Kenyan hip hop is concerned. I was like, oh, she has like the international whatever on deck. Plus, she's been doing this a much longer time than me. While I might have interest in what Cole or Drake or Kendrick is dropping, there's really no space, or I didn't want it to feel like I was duplicating her style. So I just decided it's like we're two sides of the same coin, I would say.
Mm, yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So this is all like around 2016 to 2020, I would say. So when does Uncut turn into an awards show during this period?
Yeah, in 2019. In 2019,
Okay.
I can't remember what was really going on with me, but we hadn't done any event. And the thing about like when you do events, you've done events. Yeah, you'll be on ground and you're like, I'm so stressed. Oh my god, I should never do this
Mm,
shit again.
yeah.
And then couple months, you're like, Amma, let me see.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. You can't run from the grind. If you're really about it, you can't.
uh, when you're in the fire, you're like, oh my God, this is the wackest idea I've ever had. I'm never going to do this shit in my life again. And then after a couple months, it's like, it calls you back. So that's what
Yeah.
happened. We hadn't done any event. And in the previous years, from 2016, I'd say up until 2018, we were doing like one uncut event every 3 months.
Mm.
So, what we all miss back outside. Everyone has been asking me about the next uncut event or project. Bado, we're not outside. So I was just like, you know what? I think I saw a tweet online, someone talking about Kenyan hip hop finally needs its own award show. But the tweet was talking about we need to do it in 2020. And I was like, we've been talking about this like ever since I'd been on radio in 2016, like Kuko 2015,
Mm.
2016. The conversation had always been we need to do a Kenya forward. Why then are we postponing it to do it the next year if we can just do it? So in
Yeah.
20, actually, before I skip, in 2018 I had done the online version, right?
Okay.
And it had started as a joke on the uncut Insta stories. So I'd posted like, a bunch of artists, and I would tell guys, can you vote for whoever is your favorite artist or whoever you think would deserve, like a best male or a best female. I didn't know that guys were taking that thing that seriously, because kidogo organically we would see campaigns, guys being like, yo, I've been nominated for such and such an award, for such and such a category, please go to the Uncut page and vote. So
Mm.
I guess we decided to make it, live. In 2018, it was all online. In 2019, I was like, you know what, we could do the same version of the thing that we had done, but try to do it on ground. Lucky for me, I have a great network of people, and I just made a few calls, got the venue for free with everything in it. All I needed to do was like, convince Kenyan hip hop fans and the rappers themselves that they needed to wear suits to come to watch.
Yeah.
But I first one, guys were very excited to see how it was going to go down.
Yeah.
And it really it went it like honestly with the 2019 awards, you really just had to be there. Like
Yeah.
there's no talking about it and capturing the full energy of the show without you like actually experiencing the energy. The energy was amazing. Guys came out in huge numbers. We had a great time, and we really made history. I feel like that's the amongst the very few times, or okay, let me not say the very few times. That's amongst the times I would say that stand out for me when it comes to support. The community came in full, all supportive, and yeah, since then I was just like, yo, Kenya needs this. Hip hop in particular needs this, and we've just been grinding ever since.
Yeah. So you made it. I think I first heard of the awards now the next year. I don't think I was aware of the first award show, but definitely after that, it was those ones for like, I need to go. I need to be part of that, you know.
Yeah.
And this is all coinciding with the Play KE music. It's almost like a perfect storm, you know. Like
Hmm.
you guys were all leading
It was.
us to like the chosen land, to where we're at right now, or heading towards, you know.
I
So
love. I love that. It was definitely. I think it was. I didn't know it at the time, and let me say, maybe shout out to God and my ancestors and my spirit guides, because I definitely did not come up with that idea by myself. Like it definitely had to come from some type of power, and
yeah,
for it to happen in 2019, like it was necessary for it to happen at the time that
yeah,
it happened, so that it could possibly set pace for everything that is happening in the game right now.
yeah. And even with that, the next year happens to be a pandemic. So you didn't do
Mhm.
an award 2020, right? It was
Yep.
the year. So it's like perfect timing, like crazily perfect, you know? Like, wow,
Really.
that's a so um when did you end up? When did you leave Homeboys?
In 2021.
2021. So, okay, what was the reason for that? And was it, or I'm assuming it was to focus now more on Uncut?
Yes and no. So I'd say in 2021, again, when you mentioned that we were very early on radio, I really feel also us guys, yes, we really were ahead of time. And I don't think management really understood what we were trying to do, like going to say, yo, let's support Boutros because I think he's really going to be the next big thing and we need to get ahead of it, or saying let's do such and such for Mandy or Brida. At that time they're looking at you like, who who are you
Yeah.
even talking about?
I
So I
I also worked in radio at the time, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah,
as Calligraph, Octopizu, Nyashinsky, King Kaka, like
yeah,
everybody pretty much irrelevant, and trying to tell people no, please, like give them the same attention and see they could compete on the same level or something. So I felt underappreciated. I felt very frustrated. I was very unhappy with the job at the time, and I just felt like for my own peace, let me just leave it alone and find other ways to try and push Kenyan hip hop, because I felt like there was a lot of pushback. I would go suggest this, get, maybe no response, or they take forever to respond, because I don't blame them. This is not even a blame game. Yes, at the time I was very angry by the I was very bitter about it. But right now I'm just like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Like that they were on gems, but right now everybody wants to claim, oh, we have Boutros' hottest new record, we have Asam Guy's new record, or Mandy or Breed, and I'm like, at that time when we were telling you about these guys, kwa mnataka kusikiza, but
yeah,
the agenda has agended. Still, we injected na ikaingia.
yeah. You end up expanding to East Africa with the
Yes,
addition that now you tap. I ended up being on the panel, which again I can never thank you enough for. I don't think I don't did I tell you this, but like, do you know that announcement came when I was literally at rock bottom? I was at one of my lowest points, and then I opened Twitter. I'm seeing, oh, meet the panel and 20. I'm like, yo, this is so crazy, because this is something that I felt like I had really, really wanted to be a part of, seeing what you guys were
yo,
doing. And
I love that.
that year, you guys now expand towards East African and other uh, artists from Uganda, Tanzania. Um, was that something you always had in plan? Is that, like, with the current edition, is it still an East Africa kind of thing?
Mm. So for the East African edition, definitely the goal has always been to unify East African hip hop. End of the day, I'd say as far as Africans are concerned, our struggles are more or less the same. If you go to Nigeria,
Yeah,
or if someone closes your eyes and you read Nigerians on Twitter's tweets, you would think that they're talking about Kenya. I feel
yeah,
like all, facing the same vices, bad governance, corruption,
yeah,
and the youth are struggling, all of that. So I've listened to the complaints and plight of some of our counterparts in Tanzania and some of them in Uganda, and yeah, more or less, yeah. We think maybe Kenya is really struggling, but when you talk to these guys, then you understand that their hip hop scene is literally also struggling, and they're complaining about the same things. The OGs don't support them. They're not getting played on radio. They're not getting love. The fans are not understanding or getting it. There's no one to push the movement forward. So, yes, I have always thought and felt that we would definitely do an East African edition. And it didn't even happen in the way that I envision it or think of it, because my thinking is if we're gonna do an East African edition, it's we're flying in the artist, or you know, getting a hip hop caravan from these places. Maybe even have some tickets sold for Ugandan fans if they want to accompany their favorite artist to come, or Tanzanian fans as well,
Mm,
and Rwanda, and have the way the uncut events are usually like a nice, beautiful, funky or reunion, then have that, but for East Africa.
yeah.
So yeah, I'd say in 2023, I was speaking with some people who were supposed to come through heavily for me, but they did not, which kind of ikatufunga mkono as far as East African artists being here. But we did have a few artists show up. We had MC, who this lady, MC. Oh my god, I forget.
Ninja C.
Ninja C came. She was on the panel, and then there's a Ugandan. She's actually a Kenyan shorty who lives in Uganda, and she's one of the organizers. She's called
Oh,
MC.
okay.
If I remember Takutumia, I'll
Okay.
send you um, a text or something. So they came in. It was a good time. It was a beautiful time, but definitely not. I wouldn't say it has been the best hip hop awards experience so far. We've had a few better ones, and I think at that time I was just like, I was bored, I was frustrated, I was tired, and I was just like, yeah, the hate from the community got to me, and
I saw that. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it getting to you. I saw it
yeah,
getting.
I I don't crack because I'm like, if I'm not doing so amazing, then you get the fuck on and do it,
Mm.
and nobody does it. And I think that's what's given me a bit of motivation to come back and do this edition, because it's been a year, nobody has stepped up
No one
to
did it. No one was going to. I'm not gonna lie to
everybody
you.
hits the road. No one is really putting in work, so shut the fuck up. Like I really feel like Kenyan hip hop would be a lot further if we stopped looking at it like we're competing against each other, instead of it looking like we're all uh body parts of the same moving body. So if
Yeah,
my hands are not working, then like my body is not going to be right, or my legs are not going to be right. But it
yeah,
always feels like, even when I was the game, I feel like I got a lot of pushback in terms of, oh, we already have like a system around Kenyan hip hop, don't come and disrupt this shit. And I feel that's very shallow thinking. We can't
yeah,
go far if we're competing with each other.
yeah. And I mean, I just look at the R&B scene. Like these are my peers, and I'd be so jealous because I'm like, me amongst my guys in hip hop, the egos. If it's not the entitlement, if it's not the, you know, versus the
Yeah,
R&B community, them guys are like this. Them guys are they're doing shows every week. There's a new artist
yeah,
being
that's new.
spotlighted. Like
Hmm.
it's actual genuine support in that scene. I don't see that in the hip hop scene right now.
Now that you mention it, I will actually say that Wakazi also had mentioned the same thing. He is a very vocal artist as far as Tanzanian rap is concerned, or Tanzanian music. And I
Mm,
think maybe like the youngins, he was saying the younger artists, or the younger guys who are coming into the game, maybe saw him as more a blogger or a journalist as compared to like an actual dope spitter.
mm,
So when I guess this he's working on the album, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because of his situation with Cali, obviously.
yeah.
He's working on this album that's supposed to be coming out, I think, sometime in this month, if I'm
Mm,
not wrong. He was just talking about how, sometimes people, when it comes to rap, or when it comes to hip hop, people get to a certain point, and it's like it gets to their head, and they forget who was there before, or
mm,
who did, or who crawled so you can walk, which
yeah.
is
Bro,
whack.
I'm telling you, they don't even have to get big for that ego to come in. Like, even just a lick of buzz, and all of a sudden a guy is acting different. I'm like,
Uh,
yo, what?
freestyle, one freestyle goes viral, and suddenly you feel like your calligraph. Like,
Bro.
relax.
That does. No, I feel that. I feel that. I think the hip hop community, we need to show each other love, especially because I think hip hop is still a niche genre in Kenya. So like it's hard for us to already get that mainstream love or appeal. So why are we
Relax.
amongst our community just hating on each other? Like, and me,
Relax.
I had to catch myself being a hater the other day on someone because I saw someone else. I, I'll tell you in 5 years, but I saw someone else hating on the same person for no particular reason. Me, I have my own personal reasons. Them, they're just hating because the guy is getting a bit of a buzz, and I was just like, wait, maybe I need to chill. And even him, he needs to chill. Like, why are we doing this? Like, the guy he's doing well for himself. I'm happy for him. But it's all, and so I've had to catch myself being in that. It's like the hip hop mind state of like, nah, fuck this
Yeah.
guy, SG, what. But I'm like, nah, we shouldn't be moving like that.
Yeah, it's like people, I think people approach it more on a why not me? Why couldn't I be the one getting that
Yeah,
opportunity, instead of looking at it like, if this person got the opportunity to do XYZ, then that means we're close. Like, the door is just about to bust open. And I think that's one of the things that I admire about Boutros and Musao. When I spoke with Musao, there's an interview I did with him where we're talking about like literally the origin of Shrap and Boutros's career and all that. So I asked what happened to ADF, because when they were coming in, we knew them as a trio, and suddenly, Boutros is the one that we're seeing the most. And
yeah,
they, Musa actually told me something very smart. He was like, we saw when we were moving as a group, it would be harder for us to have conversations or to get deals. Because when someone is booking you, they're thinking rider times three, pay times three, such and such, like the expenses for a three-man collective compared to a one person performance, the logistics are not the same. So they decided that we're going to push one person from the gang, and then when that person got through the door, then they would be able to open the floodgates for other strappers who want to get in. And I'm seeing
okay,
it work, like when Butchers, since he started like popping off and releasing popular music, I've seen him still do collaborations with guys like Dopamine, with
yeah,
K Green Joe. So I think it's a great strategy, and I wish just more Kenyan hip hop curators also thought the same thing. If I'm in the room, if I'm at the table and they're asking such and such about Kenyan hip hop, there's really no harm in saying, "Oh, I know XYZ who could also do the thing," because all these elements can all come together, and literally everyone can curate their own little package and it be one major big event,
yeah,
instead of it, you do your version, then you do your version, and we see whose version is better. It shouldn't be
yeah,
like.
yeah. And that is 100%. I agree with you on that. I wanna. So I touched on you leaving radio, and you talked about an interview you did, and you've done some interviews, man. You've done some interviews, like Fabulous last year. That
Oh,
was that was something. You did an AKA interview. Was that on your podcast or on radio?
so how I used to do it was, the interviews were my contacts, right? So if I'm was hustled to get the interview, I would host the audio on air, and then they would just disappear after the radio show. So it's like we conversation go live, and then after the radio show, we would post it on my podcast.
Okay, so how has your podcast journey been, and what's your favorite interview that you've done?
Jeez, oh my god, favorite interview? Is that going to be possible? Oh my god.
Or the one that stood out most for you, I would say.
The one that stood out the most. I think having a conversation with AKA is forever going to be embedded in my memory, especially the first time when he came to perform for Blankets and Wine. That's the first time I interviewed him
Oh,
one
okay.
on one. And shout out to Modani. Modani actually made sure that I
That's
interviewed.
during his peak. That's
Yeah,
wow.
Modani sure that I got that interview. Like we were there backstage. You know how it be backstage, especially if like maybe there's an activity that's supposed to be happening, like guys maybe scrambling or trying to be the person who's next. Because you know these artists when they come in, they'll be like, "Oh, I only have 10 minutes, so whoever is going to be." Blessed enough to have a conversation with me in the 10 minutes, then you go. But Mudoni came literally backstage and looked for me and was like, yo, AKA is ready for interviews. Come. And I very well prepared. I'd watched a bunch of his interviews. This was his second time in Kenya. The first time when he was coming in, when I was actually working for Class in the Sun, the edition in the wild, I wasn't able to interview him. And I think also I was just a bit timid because you're an intern. You're like, no, international star. Like, how do I even
Yeah,
start? You
yeah.
know, so the first time I let it slide, and I was very jealous that Jinx got that first link up.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna one up this nigga.
That's a competitive spirit, though. I
Yeah,
like
that's a
it.
So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I went backstage, had a conversation with him. And mind you, this is at the time where we're hearing AKA is rude. If he doesn't like your questions, he's just gonna walk off or, say something. So I was very, very nervous when I was asking him questions. I was just like, oh my God, I hope this guy doesn't walk off or embarrass me or whatever. I remember being very scared. But when I got backstage, a little bit of charm, a little bit of charisma. I've also learned that when you flirt with the artist a little bit, it kind of puts them at the
Oh, wow.
game. I'm not saying it in like a cringy way. If you don't have
Yeah,
swag, like
of
this is
course.
only
Yeah,
sometimes you it and an artist is looking at you like, why would
yeah.
you?
You gotta have the aura for that. You gotta have the
Yeah.
aura.
So
Yeah.
like we're sitting down, we're having a conversation, and I remember, just like talking to him about his favorite rappers in Africa, where he feels he's at. South Africa, like us guys looking at South African hip hop as the mecca of African hip hop. And I think the when I was revisiting that interview, something I asked him that kind of made me sad is I asked him what would his reaction be when Cairo, his daughter, first starts dating. Like what would what would he say to her? And it's sad that he's not gonna be able to see that. Like
Damn.
these things, it's crazy how these things happen. But I'd definitely say having a conversation with AKA, him being a top African hip hop artist, and me having the privilege to talk to him was definitely amazing. Another interview that I also had a lot of fun with was Questa. He is crazy, very fun guy, very chill guy,
Yeah.
and got drinks after. So I'd say AKA Questa, and it's always a good time when I'm talking to Cali. That's the bro.
Yeah.
So
You've had some good convos with him for
yeah,
sure.
I like that I always put him in a position to talk about shit he wouldn't normally talk about with other people.
You get that out of
Yeah,
him. Not many interviewers get that side of artists, you know. So
exactly.
that
I always try to create rapport because again, I also know that it's more a skill issue than anything else. Because I feel if the host is also feeling like a star, there's no way that interview is going to flow. Like only one person on who's sitting there is a star. So you have to find a way to like, even if you're Larry Madowo, when he's interviewing Wole Soyinka, Larry is not superstar Larry. He's a
yeah.
journalist. Wole Soyinka is the superstar. So the story is about the other guy. But I
Yeah.
feel some journalists have crowded their minds with they're also stars and celebrities now, so they also
Mm.
want the attention, and they don't bother maybe to do their research or to try and engage the rapper. They'll what a tokapo saying like, oh, such and such had an attitude, instead of, kind of making them feel at
Oh
ease.
my God. Yeah. I've heard that so much. So
Yo,
much.
it happens because I also realize like when artists are nervous, they won't give you full information, and they also won't be themselves.
Yeah.
So like if the journalist can clock that and be like, yo, just chill, do you want a shot, or do you want some water, what would it be that we could do that to make you feel better about being here, and also having conversations about what wouldn't you like us to discuss, so
Yeah.
that you're going on air or when the record is on, you just know for sure like, if I go this direction nitakuwa nimechoma, and
Mhm.
you won't get the information that you want. But if I press up on this direction, then I could probably twist the arm and get whatever information I want out of them. Like I've asked artists some ridiculous shit that they would never think that I would ask,
Do
but
you have an example off your head, something you've asked, or a question you've asked, or have you thrown off, maybe name the person that you've thrown off with a question before?
let me see. I think there's a couple conversations that I've had with Boutros that I've thrown him off, and get him on a podcast again. The last time we were doing the podcast, he was just on the brink of superstardom. And I remember us just, talking about a whole bunch of things, including what his DMs look like. And
Yeah.
it was time. So like his answers really cracked me up. So I'd say, yeah, Boutros is one person I'd say I've had like a few convos where they don't think that you know something, but you actually do know. So
Yeah,
you somewhere.
I like that. So you had the Kingship podcast first, right?
Yeah.
And then you've transitioned to the pod with no name.
Hmm.
Um, what is the podcast world like versus the radio world? And
Oh,
how has it been doing the pod with no name, which feels more freestyle than just a music podcast? How has
yeah.
that been for you?
Um, Definitely podcasting comes with a whole lot of freedom that traditional radio does not, or mainstream radio does not. We can get on there and say all our fucks and not give a fuck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That part, there's a lot more freedom. There's a lot more freedom of speech. There's a lot more creative freedom as well. You could literally be discussing, I don't know, someone in Meru did what,
Mm,
then the way to, I don't know, Cali has a new record or Brita has a new record, to, oh, have you seen what's happening in Namibia, which is the format that we were adopting obviously with podcast with no name.
yeah,
um I've also noticed that when the rappers come on the show, they're a lot freer, a lot more composed as compared to radio, so it doesn't have all that pressure.
yeah,
Definitely love it. I would say it's radio's distant cousin. The only
yeah,
difference is you don't play the music,
yeah.
but podcast you're definitely favorite.
And also
Because
the even the
say again?
urgency, also the urgency in the conversations. I feel like radio is very much, you know, like quick. You're in, then
Yeah,
you're out. Podcasts,
yeah.
you have time to breathe, time to get your thoughts
Yep.
off.
We're told on radio we should only do our links for like a minute and a half. If you have something to say
Yeah,
it in a minute. But with podcasting, like you can rant for literally 10 minutes and it's okay. Guys will sit there and kind of watch you rant, tear
yeah,
you up. The rant is making sense or it's not. So
yeah.
yeah, I really enjoy that.
You've also online something I've noticed. Yeah, I did all my research over here. I'm trying to,
But,
you do a lot, man. You do a lot. You do a lot. And I've noticed also on your TikTok, you're now also doing lifestyle content. You're doing the wine tasting. You're doing uh what is it called? Like the vlogs where you take us with you to whichever destination. Yeah, I'm like, so what inspired that, and how has that been versus just being known for music? Is that something you've always wanted to go into?
Mm. I feel no one person just has one interest. And I
Yeah.
think it kind of was pissing me off when people thought or felt like I'm just a hip hop chick. Like just that.
Mm.
That's if we see you in the paper, if we see you on TV or wherever, we know you're just a hip hop chick. I think that used to kind of irk me because I'm like, you niggas know like I can actually be funny. Well, I haven't really gotten into, trying to be funny online, but there's
Yeah. Now your Twitter, those ones who know, we know your Twitter, bro. I've been dying all the time.
type shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I I kind of just like I don't know. I love travel. That's something that has always been with me. I love travel. I love exploring different experiences. I'm into adrenaline. I'm a bit athletic, so even with the working out, it was something. Yes, I got into it, but even before that, like I'm into hiking and doing all these kinds of things. And I'm just like the digital era, we're in the content era. It's about time that we showcase. So I was like, as I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the music thing, let me just show all these other different things that I'm doing that could also be a revenue stream earner. It could be like some nice little bag on the side when you're
Yeah.
doing like a content. I'm still using my voice. It's not in the traditional radio way, but like you get on there, you listen to the voiceover, and like you, I guess, still hear the quality. You look at the videos. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think my video game is improving. So
Yeah.
it's just I'd say I'm an all-round creative, and I definitely love learning new skills. So learning like the video editing, that's something that's interesting to me. Learning how to like shoot, having like a different eye. And I think also this was supported by I was actually the first AD of a TV show
Mm.
here that we got Mesha Magic. Yeah, for close to a year as well. And I think being on a TV set also opened my eyes in terms of, what's catchy, what's trendy. And I think that kind of gets into how I do my vlogs, and I enjoy it. It's easy work for me, so I like it.
Yeah, you can see it. I think there's a certain, like, not just there's a refinement, yes, like I can already see the quality of the videos and stuff like that, but there's also like it's coming naturally. So like it's even me as someone who's not into lifestyle content, I remember stopping a couple of times. I'm like, wait, this is Ruby. Like this is not like
Oh,
some random influencer, you know, like my for you has decided to show. No, this is my friend. I'm like, whoa, this is like so now I like that you to be honest, I'm trying to make that transition into not just like doing my channel or my music, like also showing the other things that I'm interested in, like vlogging when I go to different places, different shows that I'll be going for. So seeing you do it, it's been
I feel like you're at such a great advantage to tell people like what it's really like on the ground. Because everybody just thinks, when you get on a plane, then you've become a millionaire. So you should definitely like
mm,
these are some of the spots that I go to, or this is what they don't show you, or this is what I'm enjoying. So I guess just when they're making a decision maybe to move to America or any other foreign country, they have like a bit of information that, oh, be wary. It's not all going to be rosy,
yeah,
but you find some roses in your journey.
yeah. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind for sure.
Content where we.
Yeah, I've been told by multiple people, but thank you. I will keep that in mind. Um,
So
so how's your mental health?
My mental health right now is doing great. For a minute, my shit was all fucked up for a bit, but I'm also one person who believes or who knows or who's been raised to know that the only way is through. So I might sulk about a situation for like 2 3 days, but I'll definitely find a way to pick myself up and figure out how to move forward with said situation. So right now, shit is looking good. July, from
Love
like
that.
May, we've been having like fun. July came in with a bunch of wins. I started off at a new job as their events and bookings
Congrats.
manager, extension of what I already do. And I like it. Event management, as stressful and as hectic as it is actually something that I love. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good revenue. And if you have a good event and umejipanga poa, you can make like quite a nice bag off of events. So that, and then there's this organization called Africa No Filter, which is an African collective of creatives, movers and shakers, culture curators who are committed to telling different stories about Africa, not the usual stories of, or if you donate $2 you can save like 10 children type shit. So I applied to be part of the collective in, I'd say like around February or March this year, and I just got a confirmation in July that I'm now part of the collective as well. So I'm very
Wow.
to see what that does, like what direction I could take for Kenyan hip hop, Kenyan music, as far as putting music on global stages. I'm very excited about that. I'm also, trying to learn more financial stuff. Financial literacy is very important to me. It's important to be a pretty woman, but it's more important to be a pretty woman with a big bag.
Yes, sir.
So I'm learning a bit about Bitcoin. I got accepted into a Bitcoin cohort, which has been going well, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the. Oh, not to mention, signed with Kijibu Solutions to help with the agency of the Hip Hop Awards this year. I'm
Oh,
very excited what the rest of the year.
congrats. Congrats on all of that. And I'm glad to hear your mental health is doing well.
What about you? I know the interview is about me, but like when it comes to mental, throw it back. What about you?
Um, I would say I'm in a better place right now in terms of being able to deal with things as they come. Um, I think I know and understand myself a lot better. There are things I still like struggle with here and there, but I feel like I'm in a much better place right now. And yeah, I'm quite optimistic for the rest of the year as well, to be honest.
Oh, dope. I love that for you. Stay positive.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I know it's hard. It do be hard sometimes, but
Yeah.
like one of the best ways to like maintain, I'd say more or less a perfect balance is when your spirit is right. I feel like you can almost face anything. So like I'm very much into the whole meditation thing. Drink your like herbal teas,
Yeah.
take what you're putting in your body, like whether it's like drinking, smoking up, eating, whatever it is. I feel like if you take care of your internal, it very much affects how you show up in the world and how you also think about the world,
That's
and that you do put out into the world is more or less what is mirrored back to you.
yeah. Thank you for that. Like, and that's actually why I brought this up because you've always been someone who's been very vocal about mental
Sure,
health and
sure.
like taking care of yourself and all of that stuff. So,
Very
nah, thank
necessary.
you.
Very.
Yeah. Let's go into some topics on Kenyan music before we wrap this up. First
Let's
of all,
do.
what's your what's your favorite shout out in a song? I think I've
Oh,
logged three shout outs and your video appearance in Matzaronga. How many
yeah.
more shout outs do you have or video appearances? You know, you're a legend, so maybe there's a lot more. I don't know.
Um. So you asked my favorite shout out in a song.
Yeah, yeah,
Um. I mean, I definitely have to go with Lemon Pepper Freestyle Calligraph.
yeah,
Mainly because of where I was at. You remember when you were telling me how the Hip Hop Awards final announcement came when you were at rock bottom? I feel like that Cali freestyle also came at a time where I was feeling very inadequate and very like, oh my god, this hip hop shit is never going to work or whatever. I was actually asleep. I'd been asleep. Afternoon nap. They do say that the people who are depressed or whatever like sleep more. So that's what happened. I was also sleeping a lot at that time, and then I woke, check my Twitter, and I see someone has commented like, "Yo, Calligraph mentions Ruby V," and I'm like, "Oh my god, if I've been dissed,
at this time, at this point in my
I
life.
off."
Well,
I was just like, "Oh my goodness, I hope it's something good." So I went, I listened to the freestyle. Actually, it's almost like the first time when I played the freestyle, it's like I didn't listen to the other verse. Like I was just looking for where's my name and what has been said.
yeah,
So yeah, we that was dope. It came at a time where I really needed that validation that I was doing something for Kenyan hip hop, and it encouraged me. I really like that.
yeah. No, I like that one as well. There was one you didn't understand, the Wapina Nani by
uh
Suicide.
Emily Pikaki S.
Something about
What?
a key. I can't remember, but I remember just being on Twitter and you were trying to get someone to break down the lyrics for you.
Oh, nilisuka ruby akaingia ki nikaitundura. I know, yo.
Yeah, I can't imagine the feeling waking up to a bar and you don't even get what she means.
What is it? What does this mean? What is this? I also spoke to Suicide himself, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
unanimation maji." And then he told me, basically, I think the line just means kituka like Rubia lingia box, and then I threw the key away.
Okay.
Eh,
Okay.
that was
Um,
fine. That was unexpected. I didn't think
that was
that.
fire. That was fire.
Yeah, that one and the one on it was on Good Morning Africa.
Yeah, the song. Yeah, the song with AJ, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one with I was like, this nigga must be on my radar, man.
Whoa, whoa! Pick up the call. He's calling. Whoa.
I'm joking.
um, who are your current favorite Kenyan artists slash, or rather, let's do upcoming because I know you're probably just gonna say your class of guys, you know, your peoples.
Oh
I
my
wanna I
god.
wanna see who is because you're super early, so I know you're tapped into some of these guys as well.
Yeah.
Who are you excited to see Kenyan music scene?
Um let's see. I feel like the branding or the management could get a lot, but I'm digging Shikina Karen. I'm digging Shikina Karen at
Yeah, she's
um
dope.
yeah, she's dope. I think she could, I don't know, she could do with better advice from a management or something. Um, no, like I think I'm saying this in reference to after KC5 dropped, in particular, she went and took shots at Diana Cole.
And yeah,
Didn't understand why she was beefing with Diana because she had already been featured on Kali Cartel. And also, I'm just for like women don't need to be beefing each other. Like, it's only like 5 or 10 women who are in the game actively. People are not supposed to be feeding into the first lady stereotype or whatever. So,
mm,
her. Absolutely. Somebody else that I'm listening to. Shanti Bobo. Oh,
Ooh, yeah, yeah,
I
tough,
and
tough.
this someone actually that I've also watched come up.
Okay,
That Shanti is amazing. I think she's going far. Um, I do listen to like a little bit of LB El Presidente.
I fucks with LB. I have a song with LB as well.
I like his raps. I like his raps. HB Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's this rapper called Seko ICG. I think he's
Oh,
planning to drop. You know Seko?
I
Seko
have
is
a track coming with him, bro. I have a track
nice.
coming with him. Yeah, he's tough. He's tough.
Also, um, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Jackul, obviously. Come
Yes,
on, man.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm sure Jack
Jackul
will you also Ali for sure.
for sure. Do you know actually like um literally when Kali was looking for rappers for I think KC3, that's when I told him about Quill.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
2020. That's
Yeah. It was
the
20 after we had done the Hennessy freestyle. Yes. Kali was like, oh, so you were looking for rappers or something. I can't remember what the conversation was really, but
yeah,
I remember him on Quill's verse from his cipher from the uncut cipher.
yeah,
And Kali, this guy is fire. So after like some time passed, I didn't know if he was still, checking for him. But Quill definitely. I think that's a rapper worth mentioning. He's definitely a great export.
yeah, for
Uh
sure.
Kirby,
King Kirby, yeah, dope.
well, um hold on. Hold on. Who else do I have on my radar? Who else do I have on my radar? Hold on. I'm forgetting this name. Okay, so Neneke when he used music, I don't know if he's still doing that, but I also really
Mm,
believed
I think he might. I don't quote me on that, but he might still be on that. He might. I saw him posting a couple of links not long ago, so he
he
might
definitely
still. Yeah, he's
be
dope.
Neke needs to be back outside. I've listened to like, uh wait, I forget this nigga's name. This dude with the heavy ass voice. I forget his fucking name. And he rocks the braids sometimes and he's dark. He
Um, who?
Is it Mervin Obiero?
Oh, Mav. Oh, that's my guy, OB, one of the toughest in the game. And he
Uh,
self-produces as well. Like he's
does
he's one of my favorite rappers, and that's my friend. Like I genuinely listen to his music like, yo, this guy is crazy, bro. Nah,
that's I've sampled a couple of his records. I do like his shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
tough. Okay.
The
You tapped in.
I think everyone has Sabiwu. I've sampled your records. It's just like these uptown kids one and Potelea, but
I have
yeah, I
someone for you with
yeah.
my latest record. It's called The Recipe. It's this kid called Karis.
Mhm.
He's just turned 19. I'm telling you right now, Ruby, just tap into that project. You'll hear what I'm saying. This kid is crazy,
I
crazy,
got you.
crazy,
I got,
crazy, crazy rapping.
got
Um,
you.
but yeah, you tapped in. You tapped in. Okay, okay, okay. I was never in doubt. I was never in doubt. But I just did to make sure. Yeah,
I
that's dope. So I think we've basically covered everything I wanted to get into. But nah, thank you so much for coming on here. This has been an amazing interview. I think you've dropped some real gems, um, uncovered some things I didn't even know, even with all my research skills. There's some things I just, I was like, whoa. Um, And I think what you're doing has always been super important, but I think now that you've kind of like said fuck all the haters, all the noise, and you just deciding to do it, I think that's even more powerful. I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with for Uncut. Thank you again for coming on the show. I don't know if you had any parting shots. Maybe you can tell the world where to find you, what you're getting into, all of that stuff.
Yeah, first I'll say thank you so much for having me. This has been fun. It's always a good time to talk about Kenyan hip hop roots and all of that. Yes, UNKUT HIP HOP Awards, we're back outside this December. I'm very excited about that. We already have a date, we have a theme. I guess
What's the
we'll
date?
just
Oh, you tell me. You tell, we'll talk. My bad. My bad. Uh-huh.
relax, relax. Maybe or two we will have the date out. I don't want to like say a date and then we come back and with the team to call like, oh, maybe we need to move it. But yeah, we already have a working date. We have a few events leading up to the awards, so I would say once the tickets are out, get your tickets, make Kenyan hip hop great again, come and support Kenyan hip hop. We have so much talent that we can put out there. You can follow us at Uncut Africa. That's across platforms. My personal page, if you like wine, wellness, fitness, lifestyle type shit, that it's at Just Ruby V. And yeah, let's meet each other in the digital space and spread love and make some magic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, so this has been BTM. It's your boy An21, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace.